Good evening. Thank you for tuning in to the Chelley Roy Show. I am your host, Chelley Roy, and we have an amazing show for you guys tonight. I pray that you guys are continuing to stay safe and sanitized. I pray that you guys are having a great week so far. So, before we kick off the show, we always like to start with thanking our sponsors. The Chelley Roy Show is sponsored by Liquid Lipo, where you could lose up to a pound a day. We're also sponsored by Built on Survival Skills Apparel. So you guys stay tuned and don't go anywhere because up next we have three phenomenal women. We have Miss Darvincia Warren, Miss Jonae Charlene, and Miss Amara Charles. You guys stay tuned after the break. Welcome back, you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Again, I am Chelley Roy, your host, and my first guest is going to show us how to get to the money. You guys put your hands together for Miss Darvincia Warren, the CEO, Money Chick. Give it up, you guys. Give it up. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. How are you? You look amazing. You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Likewise. It's an honor for me to share this virtual stage with you. So thank you so much.
I feel like this is one of the best shows. I was going to say the best show yet, but one of the best shows because I am interviewing and chatting with three phenomenal women. I don't think I've ever done that. I think it's always been a mixture. So, as I said, I wanted to start off with doing a few icebreakers, and then I will let you introduce yourself because who better to introduce yourself than you? Okay. So, let's start off with some great icebreakers. So, a couple of these questions fall under the term things that make you go,
Okay.
So, how do you feel about paying for the first date?
You said, how do I feel about
paying for the first date?
I don't. I don't feel about that at all. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But no, I don't necessarily, I mean, if I were the person to extend the invitation, then it would be upon me. But if I was invited on a date, it's an absolute no, I will not be paying.
Absolutely. And that is so true. And someone else said that I think there is a difference, you know what I mean? Especially if you extend the invitation. So it's only fair, right? So exactly. That's a good point.
Great question.
What about opening the door? What about opening the door for a man?
Wow, that does make you go, I mean, I'm just naturally, a caring and polite, considerate person. So naturally, I'm just going to go to hold the door for anyone. But I'm not going to go out of my way to get the door for a man. I don't think that's necessary.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
So what about if you're starting to kind of date, if you will, kind of hanging out? There's different terms nowadays that people put on it. So, and he's only texting you because he says he's too busy. What do you make of that?
Well, I will accept it because I may be doing the exact same thing. And I would believe him because that is my life. So unless
Okay.
he gave me a
Okay.
reason to believe otherwise, I'm going to accept it and be okay with it.
Okay. And that's good coming from your perspective,
Yeah.
being able to relate to that. You know what I
Mm-hmm,
mean?
mm-hmm.
So the next question is a follow on to that. So you
Okay.
guys have been dating, let's say 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not ready to introduce you to his family or his close friends.
Mm. Well,
Mm.
I don't think we would get that far. Um, because, the question becomes, are you ashamed of me? What is it about me that you don't feel comfortable enough to, introduce me to your family? At that point, I would begin to question things, not question
And
myself,
what's really
but just more
going on?
so his role and how he's showing up in the relationship.
What's really going on? Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
Um, which would you prefer? Do you prefer brows or lashes?
I am a lash girl all day.
Me too.
Yes.
You know what? I'm both. So it's like,
Yeah,
I want both.
I
If
am
I had to
both.
choose,
I'm both, but as you can see, I can kind of conceal my eyebrows a little bit, but my lashes, that's a part of me for sure. But I
that's
will say
true.
I am both. So depending on the style, I definitely got to make sure my eyebrows are good as well.
I love it. I love it. So this will be the last icebreaker. What
Okay.
would you prefer? Um, date night or Netflix and chill?
I would absolutely, that's a great question. It's actually reflective of a conversation I just recently had a few nights ago. I would absolutely prefer date night. I am a mother. I have two teenage boys. So it's going to take a long time for us to be Netflix and chilling, right?
Yeah,
But yeah, I
yeah.
would prefer to get out, just see how a person interacts in a public atmosphere, and before I'm comfortable enough to be in a private setting with them.
That makes sense. All right. So tell everybody who the CEO money chick, Miss Darvincia Warren is.
Yes, thank you so much. Again, first of all, just it's an honor to again share this virtual stage with you, Chelley. It's amazing to be on your show. So thank you
Thank
so much.
you. It's an honor to
Absolutely.
have
And
you.
thank you. Thank you. And everyone, as Chelley said, I am Darvincia Warren, the money chick. I am the CEO and founder of DW Tax Prep LLC, author and financial coach.
Oh my God, I love it. So let's try to break some of that down. And I
Okay.
know you've also been seen, for those of you who aren't aware, she's also been seen on Fox News, NBC, and CBS for these same characteristics and these traits and these great business tips. So talk to me about, they're all good topics. Talk to
Yeah,
me about, I would say credit, because you have to have the credit to get to the money. So talk to me
absolutely.
about the credit.
Well, I'm glad you asked me about that because one of the things I really wanted to do tonight was kind of burst some myths, right? I think the
Yeah.
greatest thing for everyone to understand about credit is what it's actually for. So credit is nothing more than the root word for credibility, right? And that is all that credit is
Hmm.
supposed to be used for credibility, to show that you are a credible source and that you can be trusted. However, it's a form of debt. And so, unfortunately, it's the very first introduction that we have to money. When we go to college, right, we're now legal. So now we're immediately beginning to receive credit card applications. You've been approved for this, you've been approved for that. And as a college student,
Right.
you're looking at it like this is free money, right? And it's not
Mhm.
until the debt has piled upon you that you then begin to kind of look at your financial situation. So I really want everyone to know that credit should not be our first introduction to money. We should really understand and learn how money works so that when we do introduce credit into the picture, we're using it solely for the credibility piece and to let people know that we're trustworthy.
Oh my God, that was so powerful and key. I love how you broke that down because it changes the perspective in terms of how you think of money. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily, like you said, credit, it's credibility, credit
Yeah.
worthy. And I
Yeah.
love how you talked about understanding it in the beginning because they do throw it at us at an
Yeah.
early age when we're in college and we have no of financial literacy and credit and how to maintain it or to understand it. So I love that. I absolutely
Absolutely.
love that.
Yes,
And
yes, absolutely.
it's so important. So I can't wait to talk to you one-on-one. And before we, end your conversation, I'll make sure that everybody gets all of your social media handles. So
Yeah.
talk to me about, because I know you do a little bit of investing, and I know that you do the taxes too. So talk to me a little bit about the taxes, your business as
Okay.
it relates to taxes.
Yes. So well, first and foremost, we've been voted one of the top 50 in the country about 6 years in running, right? We've been in business for a little over 10 years. So over half of our tenure in business, we have been rated that way. And it's primarily because we take each individual situation, each individual taxpayer, and identify what areas they may need to grow. We really dissect the situation, we take things, whether it's state specific or industry specific if it's a person that's in business. And the ultimate goal for us is not necessarily to get a person the maximum refund, because I'm going to burst another myth in just a moment, right? But it's not just to
Please
get them
do.
the maximum refund, but also to minimize that taxable liability. Because guess what? Yet another thing that we have been misinformed about is the fact that we should be expecting a refund. Because when we really think about what the definition of refund is, it means we're getting something back, right? That was already
Right,
ours, right? It's a
right.
refund. We're getting it back.
Mhm.
And so if we associate that with a tax refund, right? With taxes, and put them together,
Mhm.
and it's a tax refund, that essentially means you're getting paid back something that you overpaid. So if we really understood how the tax system worked, we would break
Wow.
even at the end of the year. We would receive more of our income throughout the year. And when it's time to prepare that tax return, we're not expecting anything, but we also don't owe anything. We've done everything we were
Right.
supposed to do. We are obviously required to pay a certain amount, a percentage of taxes on our income. But if we're doing that, properly understanding how it works, we'll get it done throughout the year. And when the tax refund, or when it's time to file that tax return, there's nothing happening. You're just reporting that information, and that's that. I'll see you next year, Uncle Sam. But when we're as a community, we get excited about expecting a refund. We want the largest refund. We even want the refund anticipation loan, right? And don't get me wrong, I provide them because it provides me an opportunity to educate taxpayers, right? So that maybe next year they won't be looking for that refund, because they know if I get a refund, that means I gave away some money that could have went to my family. So that's another
Mhm.
big myth that I like to bust as well.
Oh my God, you are busting everything. You are dropping gems, I mean nuggets. And me personally, refund is not even in my vocabulary. So I've changed my language a long
That's
time ago. But
right. Yes.
I am with you in terms of doing things the right way so that I could break even. And I love
Yeah.
how you broke it down in terms of the mindset, in terms of how we perceive what a refund is. And like you said,
Yes.
that definition or anticipation of you overpaying something. So, oh my God, girl, I can't wait until we talk one on one. Isn't
Yes.
she
Yes.
powerful, you guys? Isn't she powerful?
Thank
Like,
you
she
so
dropped
much.
so many nuggets, so many nuggets. So, how did you become this serial? Before I go there, what's the name of your tax business? I know you said you guys have been rated number one for several years. What is the name of your tax company?
It's DW Tax Preparation LLC. So the D and the W obviously represents Darvincia Warren. So it's
Okay.
DW Tax Prep LLC.
I absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. And I forgot what my next thought was, but I wanted to make sure that I highlighted the name of your business. So, what would be, I would say, if you could quickly, three
Mhm.
top money tips and three top tax tips?
Okay. So the very first tip that I have is to bypass the middleman, right? And what does that mean? That means that we do not put our money in the bank if we're anticipating growth. Why? It's very simple. And
Mm,
we will talk more about it in depth. And maybe I can come back and talk to your audience more in depth as well. But basically, The banks give us like 1% or less on interest on our savings, right? But then they take our money and they reinvest it into the global economy for a higher rate of return. And their money, our money, is doubling for the banks much faster than it's doubling for us. So instead of putting our money in the banks, we can bypass the middleman and get that same growth return on our own money. So that's the first myth. The first tip: bypass the middleman. Right?
Bypass the middleman. Wow.
Absolutely. The second tip is to make sure that your income is protected, right? Because we are the money machines in our families, right? And so let's just say our income right now is $50,000, which is typically average, and in our community, $50,000 is the income, right? God forbid something should happen to me, right? Because there's so many people that leave out of their homes and they feel really good when they leave out, but they may get into a car accident or something like that, and they may not make it home to their families, right? So say, for instance, that happened to me and my income was $50,000 that was supporting my 2 teenage boys. Well, now my income has stopped because I'm not here anymore to make that money, right? But and what that income replacement is life insurance, making sure that if God forbid something should happen to you, you have an immediate income replacement, so your family's already faced with the loss of a loved one. You don't leave them with the financial devastation in addition to that. So that's the second one.
We have one last tip before we get your social media handles. But you are powerful. You are powerful. Oh my God.
Thank you. Yeah. And the final tip, and it goes right along with my book that you guys see behind me, right? The Secrets of Fixing Your Own Credit. That final tip is, guys, do not spend money to fix your credit because we only know what we know, right? But I guarantee you that it will not take the time, effort, and energy or money that you think it does to fix your credit, and you can get that credibility back where it needs to be without going broke. So that's my final tip.
Girl, so powerful. So many golden gems that you dropped in such short time. We definitely will bring you back because this is powerful. I feel like we need to do a 1-hour segment with you just alone on the credit and the taxes. So tell everybody what your social media handles are, what your website is, and your phone number.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys can find me on all social media platforms at Darvincia, right? Or you can find me on all social media platforms at DW Tax Prep, right? And that's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, guys. You can find me all over those platforms. Our website is dwtaxprep.com, and you can give us a call at 301-246-2022. We operate in a total virtual capacity, so it doesn't matter where in the country you are, we can provide that service to you.
Oh my God, I absolutely love it. Thank you so much, sis. I will definitely talk to you guys. Isn't she amazing, guys? Talk about the powerful information. So hang tight. We're going to go to a quick break. Welcome back, guys. Wasn't she powerful, Miss Darvincia Warren? I see why they call you the money chick, sis. Oh my God. So you guys are still in for a treat, so buckle up. My next guest is Miss Jonae Charlene. You guys welcome her to the stage, guys. Welcome. Welcome, welcome.
Hi, Chelley. Thank you so much for having me.
Hi, how are you?
Blessed and highly favored. I started doing this gratitude challenge on my social media, and I really hope it catches. So every day for a year, and we just wrapped up, I think, about the 36th day, I hop out and give a gratitude. So today I'm so happy and grateful to be here on your show. What an honor it is.
Oh, thank you. I'm grateful to have you as well. I mean, phenomenal, phenomenal women, phenomenal. So, as you saw with the interview with Darvincia, I think there's a little bit of background noise. Okay. I don't know what that is. All right, so we're going to keep going. So let's start off with some icebreakers. Do you guys hear that? I think everybody is on mute.
I don't hear anything.
That's because it's you with the background noise.
Oh, there's nothing here though.
Okay. All right, we'll just keep going. Hopefully it'll go away.
What does it sound like?
The echo.
Mm.
Can you guys hear that? No. Okay. All right, let's see. It sounded like it went away. Can you use headphones? Do you have headphones?
Not that are charged right now.
I'm sorry?
I don't have any that are charged right now.
Okay. All right, I think that's what it is. Not I think, that's exactly what it is. It's the headphones. So Taiwan and Amara, if you guys have headphones, if you could use them, that'll be great. That's what it is. So we'll try to plug along here. So the first icebreaker, how do you feel about, it's in the category of things that make you go, So how do you feel about paying for the first date?
You know what? If it was discussed prior to the date, like, I don't know, it might not be an issue, especially if like the date was like my idea or something. But if it was a surprise, probably the last date for me.
Yeah, how about that? I think it's a consensus there on whether or not you initiate the actual invitation in terms of you being expected to pay. So I think there's a consensus there. So good answer. What about opening the door for a man?
Does he have arms?
Let's say he does.
Does he have legs? Is he in a wheelchair?
So your answer is no, not at all.
I mean, there are certain situations. So, like, if I'm walking out of a store and like he's closely enough behind me, I'm not gonna just like hurry out so you don't fit through the crack. Like kick it open. But I am not by any means walking in front of a man to open the door for him. That's not happening unless he doesn't have legs, unless he has some kind of a handicap.
Gotcha. I'm with you, sis. I 100% agree. So what about if you're dating a guy and all he seems to do is just text you? You guys never really talk on the phone, and he says it's because he's busy.
I mean, I'm a texter. It's really hard to like get me on the phone for a like personal conversation. So I don't know that I would be offensive. I probably would. I would relate to that. I wouldn't be offended at all.
You knew women, I swear.
I say that, but like it depends on the level of the relationship.
Exactly. I was sitting here saying the same thing. Yeah.
If we met like that, I'm okay with it. If we met and you were calling and then all of a sudden you're too busy, that's a little suspect. That's a little sus, bruh,
Yeah, it does depend on the situation. And even though you can relate because you're just as busy, I think depending on the situation, it would be considered questionable. Yes. So what about if you guys were dating for 5 years or so and he says that he's not ready to introduce you to his close friends or his family?
I don't know that we would still be together for 5 years if that hadn't happened yet. Just saying.
Yeah.
That's a long time if you haven't met nobody.
No, we have to stand up for something or we'll fall for anything. I mean, there's a lot of, situations out there that exist and that it's continuing to, have that situation take place. So
yikes.
I completely get it. So what would you prefer? Lashes or brows?
Brows. See?
Brows.
Yeah, but I do lashes. I like lashes too. I'm like you and Miss Warren. I prefer both, but if I had to choose between them, I would go for the brows. Because my natural lashes are kind of long anyway.
I know, right? I love both. I can't do without. And so last one, flats or stilettos? What would you prefer?
Stiletto.
Stilettos, I know, right? I
Yeah.
can't go anywhere without my stilettos. Even though COVID has shown me how to be cute and comfortable, I still don't go anywhere without my stilettos. I may have my flats with me, but it's the stilettos for me.
For me too. For me, I went to
It's the
college
stilettos.
in Richmond, Virginia, and they're like cobblestone roads on the way to class everywhere. Stilettos every day to class.
Oh my
Don't ask
God.
me why, but that was my level of commitment to cuteness. Okay.
Oh my God. And all I can think about is my heels. Just
Yeah,
the
that
sound
happened.
of just
That
wearing my
happened.
heels.
It was bad.
Oh my goodness. Well, that ends the icebreakers. That was so much fun.
That was
So
fun.
thank you. So tell everybody who you are because you can better introduce yourself than I can.
Thank you for the opportunity. So, my name is Janae Charlene. I'm a lot of things: a joint heir with Christ, entrepreneur, multi-business owner, a lover, advocate of self-care, education, and oneness, to say
Oh,
the
wow.
least.
Absolutely love that. Love,
Thank
love,
you.
love it. You have to be connected with the higher being, the spiritual.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's the forefront of anything. You know what I mean? That's the beginning and the end, shall I say.
yeah.
So let's bring on Mr. Taiwan. I know he is your guest as well. So talk to me a little bit about hello, Taiwan.
Hello, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can
Yeah.
hear you. Thanks for joining the girl chat.
Not a problem. Not
Girl
a
chat.
problem at all.
So, how did you guys meet and decide to go into business together? And tell me a little bit about your business, whoever wants to take that question.
So I'll have her start and I'll like
Okay.
jump on in.
So just mentioning college recently, right? A few
Hmm.
sentences ago, we met there. We met at school in Richmond,
Okay.
Virginia, at VCU, where those cobblestone roads were. And who knew we'd be sitting here today? Life
Exactly.
has a funny way of bringing together like minds. And so when I
Yeah.
shared with, yes, even us, Chelley, and so when I shared with Taiwan how I was starting my e-commerce store and that we're advocating self-care through fashion with him as a licensed clinical therapist, I thought it'd be,
Mm.
a great idea to share with your audience and mine as well the impact from a professional standpoint that fashion can have on self-care and mental health. So that's how
Hmm.
this partnership was created.
Wow. That is
100%.
powerful. So, if you could break that down for me, self care through fashion. I love that, but explain the correlation.
Yes. So, for example, you're having a bad day and you don't feel like getting out of bed, let alone getting dressed. So, maybe you go to make your coffee, you're just wearing your pajamas still, and the coffee spills on you. Like, there are going to be a chain or series of events that are going to remind you that today is not a good day. And that does start with how you see yourself.
Yeah.
So, if you are dressed in a way that is reflective of the day you want to have,
Mm.
not the day that you feel like you're starting to have, you open up a new possibility for that experience into your vibration. So I'm encouraging people that even if they don't feel like getting dressed up, you don't feel like looking your best, do it for that reason. Because I
Hmm.
promise you're about to miss out
Yeah.
on the best day of your life if you don't. So yeah, that's pretty much how we came to making an impact in this way.
Hmm.
That is
And I
so key, and I
definitely,
can relate to. Go ahead, Taiwan. I'm sorry.
one, I can attest to her wearing those heels. I'm doing cobblestones and her commitment to the cuteness as you guys talk about.
Thank you. All facts.
All that, right? But also, we talk about how our physical environment impacts us, but reframing that thought and looking at it how our mind often dictates how our physical environment, looks, how we interpret things. So if
Mm.
you are looking your best or are looking or wearing a certain color, um, like again, like black could be a lot of different things to be cool. It could be luxury. It could be somebody mourning. It could be something that complements
Mm.
line, right?
That
Sometimes our feelings
compliments
about line, the young lady's color type of
line.
dress. Hmm.
Gotcha.
Um,
Okay.
mhm. And like your feelings about color are often deeply personal and rooted in your own experience or culture. So black
Mm,
means prestige to me, is like one of my favorite colors. But to somebody not feeling the greatest, is like, all right, let me kind of tone down. But if we look at earth tones, earth tones have a grounding effect, right? If we want to be grounded in our environment, we often go outside. We go to the beach, we go to the park, we let the grass at our feet. So putting those colors on also reinforces that mindset. Um, I'll do another one.
wow. So
Target.
now I get it.
Go ahead.
Now I get it.
Hmm.
The self-care to the fashion. I get it.
Hmm.
Why? I think that's why I tend to gravitate more towards color. You will
Hmm.
rarely catch me in black
Hmm.
because color makes me happy. Color makes me
Exactly.
feel good. So I get it. He's good, you know.
Yes, he is very, very good.
I appreciate that. I
Wow.
appreciate that.
Oh
So
my
yeah.
goodness. So since you guys are correlating the self-care to the fashion, how are you guys implementing this, putting this out there so that you can not only attract the people to the clothes, but also attract the people to the self-care?
Social media is a great tool. So,
Hmm.
I have my hands in a lot of pots, and in one of those pots, I picked up something I'm going to repeat right now, but be a product of the product. So I chose to wear bright
Yeah,
color and to, look my best for today. And as a result of that, when I'm out and I'm, just doing my thing, people are curious. And so word of mouth is the best marketing tool. But because I love people and I am looking to make an impact, I like to personally share and create that relationship. And it does give me so I have a medicinal background also. Taiwan and I, were doing that in undergrad, and so it also gives me an opportunity to maybe screen referrals for him, so that we can better serve our communities and countries.
oh wow, I absolutely love that. Um, so Taiwan,
Hmm.
what are some of the biggest questions that I would say not the biggest, but maybe the top two questions that you get asked as a clinical therapist?
I'll say the top two, one being, how do I make myself feel better? How do I get out of this funk? And it often kind of correlates to what we're talking about now, like your clothing, how your mental space dictates your physical space. Um, and also like, it sounds cliche, but that whole, what's the meaning of life? And what is my purpose? And sometimes when
Mm,
you're feeling good, when you're, in a better environment, those questions they formulate better, right? It allows you to create your unique formula so you can ideally understand like what's your trajectory, what's your vibration, right? And what spaces
yeah,
you feel comfortable in and what space you can create. So those what I say will be my top two that I get.
I love that. And what about you, Janae? Whether it be from the clinical side or the fashion side, what are two top questions or things that you get asked the most?
Yeah, thank you for that question. The one thing I would say the most is like, how do you make this a lifestyle? Because, looking your best, when you're not there for yourself, it's not easy to muster the energy to put that effort into your appearance. So I get that question, like, how do you make it a lifestyle? And literally the answer is this: it's non-negotiable. Like, not doing it
Mm-hmm.
is not an option. You make the commitment to being your best self, to looking your best self. Like, it's a commitment, it's a lifestyle, it's not negotiable, period. Um, the second question I would say I get a lot is, why did I decide to do this? And I've been very transparent on social media about having run ins with domestic violence. So, fashion actually found me at a time where I didn't look my best. So, I'm not telling somebody to do something that I haven't done myself. And, when I was experiencing that in undergraduate at school, I decided to empower myself instead of be victimized. So I started to dream bigger. I started to look better. I just like did all of that until it became my reality, my vibration, and I believed what I was doing. I was getting my confidence back through fashion, just making that effort to look better than I felt. And so that's how God orchestrated this whole ordeal, because God gets the glory for this. I'm not that clever. So
Amen. Amen. I absolutely love that. So going back to the non-negotiable, I absolutely agree with that. And that's how I feel. I've always had this thing about me that, if you look good, you feel good, you react, with giving everything your best, you perform well. So going back to that non-negotiable, especially coming out of a time that we're in with COVID, some of us are still there. Some of us are still trying to find our way. A lot of us became very depressed, being shut in, not being able to be social. What advice would you give someone who wants to show up and present themselves as their best, but are just really having a hard time?
you know what, Chelley? I would refer them to this really great stylist that I know who could help them. But seriously, I would just
Thank
share with
you.
them, of course, and that's what I really would do. That's the truth. But
I
from
know
a
you would,
personal
sis.
standpoint, because I do, because I do like relating and talking to people, I would share with them a time where I was in that same situation, because just as I shared, I was there. I was there so bad. I was there. But you have to just push yourself. Your purpose
Yeah.
is bigger than your circumstance. And so I
Amen.
would tinker away at the person's mentality to help them be ignited and excited by their purpose. And then they would have a reason to look their best every day, because maybe they're just forgotten why you're getting out of bed, why it's important to represent and show up for yourself the best that you can.
I absolutely love that. Oh, I think were you still talking? It just kind of went out.
I just stopped abruptly, I guess. I apologize.
No worries, no worries. And so, Taiwan, what advice would you give, whether it be something relating to color, mood changing? What advice would you give to someone that's struggling? Same similar scenario that I gave Janae, because even though, it seems like we're treading forward, we're in the heart of a recession right now, and people are still having a difficult time. What advice would you give to people who are struggling? I mean, do you think breathing exercises work? Because there's a lot of anxiety that
100%.
builds up.
100%. So the first thing I would say is identifying the obstacles or the opportunities for growth, right? Again, reframing things, not your pain points, not your struggles, but opportunities for growth, right? Kind of putting your mind in that more positive space and having like a very genuine conversation with yourself. A lot of us often know what to do. Like everybody has this divine, discernment that we don't often access, right? So one, trusting your agency after you have that blunt conversation with yourself and not shying away from, do I need to step away from this situation, this person? What are these things that are causing me, are limiting my growth, right? And from that point is really a
Mm-hmm.
solution oriented mindset. How can I talk to someone, whether it be stylist, whether it be, mental health therapist, whether it be a life coach? How can I put somebody in place that has a separate viewpoint and an objective viewpoint to
That,
kind of get me moving forward? Um, I
yeah,
can change my brakes. I can change like certain stuff in my car. I can do the oil, but at a certain point, it's like I just want this done and done efficiently and quickly, right? So sometimes you
right.
just need to see an expert. You need to see an expert. So
And
that's what I
I'm
would say.
glad that you said that. No, that's a great tip. And I'm glad that you said that, because I feel like at certain points we're now starting to normalize being able to talk about mental health and,
Hmm.
sitting and talking with someone about it. But I still feel, on other hands, some of us are just not there yet. So I'm glad that you said that, and I'm glad that you encourage it, because it's nothing wrong with it. It's real, it's
Hmm.
a thing, and it's nothing wrong with wanting to check yourself, identify
Exactly.
the underlying issue or problem, and get it fixed. So I
Exactly.
appreciate that perspective for sure. So you guys, whether it be Taiwan or Journey, tell everybody where they can reach you, what your social media handles are, what your phone numbers are, and your websites, because you guys are doing something amazing. And this conversation is going to stick with me from the perspective of tying self care to fashion, because I
Hmm.
love fashion, and maybe it's something there as to why I love the fashion and not really thinking about it until you guys just
Hmm.
exposed it.
Hmm.
What a blessing, Chelley. I'm so grateful we were able to
Yes,
marry that
truly.
connection for you. Yeah, I can be found on all social media platforms, including LinkedIn, as Janae Charlene. Also, I would suggest going to our website, www.vibes through apparel. So VIBESTHRU apparel.com. And for all of your viewers, if they put their email address in, we have a special gift for people who add in their email address. You guys will be able to shop generously. Okay. So that's how
Perfect.
you
You
can find
guys,
me.
all of my viewers that are watching, be sure to put your email in the chat, in the comment section, so Nate and Tawan can send you a special gift. What about
Yeah,
your
go to the
social media
website. It'll
handles,
be
Tawan?
easier. It'll be easier if they go to the website and
Oh,
just put
that's
the yeah,
okay. I'm sorry.
www.vibesthroughapparel.com and put your email address in, because you probably got a lot of viewers, and whoo, this will be easier.
For
Yes, I'm
sure.
sorry, you guys. So go to vibesthroughapparel.com and put in your email address to receive your special gift.
Hmm.
Thank you.
What's your social
Um,
media, Taiwan? You guys
I
are a
can be
blessing.
reached on LinkedIn, spelling my name, Tawane, Watkins, Watkins. Also, Psychology Today. I made it easy. If you go to Psychology Today and type in Watkins, like I'll pop up. So it's just, I'm right there. And if you want to call, it's 202-933-9771.
Thank you so much. You guys have
Mm-hmm.
been such a blessing. I mean, starting with Darvincia dropping the gems, and then you
Man,
guys follow
she
her
has some.
with the self-care tied to mental health and fashion. You guys are truly, truly a blessing. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I'm going to
Thank
put you
you.
guys backstage and go to a quick break.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. So much fun, you guys. So much fun. Welcome back to the Chelley Roy Show. Again, I am your host, Chelley Roy. How about these guests tonight, guys? I hope you guys are learning something, gaining from it, gaining something. So, the purpose of this platform is to leave better than you guys came. My goal is to make sure that my platform is impactful by way of my wonderful guests. We had Darvincia dropping gems. Then we had Miss Jonae in Taiwan also educating us on mood changing, mental health, and self-care. It's so important. So you guys help me put your hands together for Miss Amara Charles. Welcome, Amara.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you, Queen?
Hey,
Hi.
how are you, Queen?
I am
You
so
look
good.
pretty.
Thank you. You look beautiful. It is always a
Oh,
pleasure, blessing to see you.
thank you. Thank you so much. So are you having fun? I mean, talk about the guests, right?
Oh my gosh,
The
it's been
nuggets
amazing.
and the gems.
I love the conversation. Such good information. Such good information.
It's so necessary. And I try to make sure that the topics have a range. You know what I mean? Because I am intentional about being impactful by way
Yes.
of my message through you guys. So let's get into some of these icebreakers and then we can talk about Miss Bay, North America. So things that make you go, how do you feel about paying for dinner for the first date, on the first date?
That's a great question. I would not.
Really?
No, I would not. I think that it is a blessing to sit down with the queen.
Amen. Okay.
And yeah, I think it sets the tone. It sets the stage for how I will be treated thereafter. So no, I would not.
I agree. We definitely need to be intentional about showing people how to treat us.
I
And
agree.
that's good.
I
That's
agree.
really good. What about opening the door for a man?
No,
No.
because I was raised by a gentleman. My daddy is a complete gentleman. My little brother is a gentleman. And they opened the
I
door for me,
apologize
pull
for
out
those.
my chair. Yeah. And
Yeah,
if it's one thing I appreciate is having a father who taught me how I should be treated by a man. So no.
absolutely. Setting that standard and raising
Exactly.
that bar.
Yes.
That's important, very important. So, what about if you were dating a guy and he doesn't really seem to be available via the phone and always wants to text? And he says it's because he's busy.
I believe that you make time for what's important. And
Yeah.
although texting is convenient, I believe that if you really care about getting to know me, if you want to understand my body language, just understand how I respond to
Yeah.
things, then you would want to have a conversation with me. I've been told that my voice is quite soothing. So why would you not want to call me? Yeah, why would you not want to call and have a conversation? So I would be a bit suspicious. It made me wonder, why don't you want to have a conversation? Is there something that you have to hide?
Right. And like you said, you make time for what you want to make time for, even in our busy lives and our busy schedules.
Yes.
That is so key.
Yes.
So, what about if you guys were dating for 5 years or 2 years? Because 5 years is a long time. However, there are some situations out here that still occur. But what
Yeah.
about you guys have been dating for about 2 years and
Mhm.
he's just not ready to introduce you to his family or his close friends?
I would again be suspicious because I think you get a great idea of a man by how he treats his mother, by how he
Mm,
treats his family, by how he prioritizes
yeah.
them. And so, if I am someone that you desire to have in your life for a long span of time, I can't imagine not wanting me to meet the woman that raised you. And I would also invite that conversation because when I meet a man and when I have, when he has good manners and when he talks about his love for God, I'm automatically curious, like, who raised you? Can I hug her? Like an automatic rapport that I naturally want to say thank you to a woman who has raised
Yeah.
a king. So I would be suspicious
It's a
if he
good
did not.
feeling.
Yeah, I would be suspicious. I would want to meet his family. I'd want to meet his friends. I want to see how he interacts. So all in all, I'd love to meet the family.
Yeah, no, that's key. I think anybody would, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it allows you to make that connection and to see exactly, that correlation, how to relate to one another, because it also is a front row seat of what your relationship would be like. You know what I mean? So
I
that's
agree.
very important.
I
Very
agree, yes.
important. So what would you prefer? Lashes or brows?
Ooh, lashes.
All
Lashes, yeah.
right. Stilettos
Yeah.
or flat?
Lashes, I think are automatically, it says hi with your eyes, and
Oh my
so
God,
it's a
right?
great, yeah, like I just can't
I know
imagine.
you can talk with your eyes, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I could not imagine, can imagine it.
I love it. What
Yeah.
about stilettos or flats?
Stilettos. I think a woman looks sexy in heels.
All the time. It's
Yeah,
something about how the muscles just stand out and the
exactly.
calves just, yeah. It's
Exactly.
the stilettos for me too. It's the
Exactly. Same
stilettos
here.
for me.
Same here.
All right, so that's the end of our icebreakers. So instead of me introducing you, I think you would do a better job telling everybody who you are. So I would love for you to introduce yourself to my audience.
Of course. So thank you so much again, Queen, for having me. You are a beauty, a complete queen in and out. I'm so grateful to just be on your platform, to be on your stage, and just have conversation with you. It's a blessing. But a little bit about myself. My name is Amara, and I am a strategic marketing leader by day. I'm the CEO and founder of Graceful Lashes and Beauty LLC, where I specialize in enhancing women's natural beauty through lash extensions, hence my preference for lashes. I also teach certification courses. And every day, all day, I am a queen. So I am Miss Curvy North America. I'm so proud of my crown.
Yes, crown yourself, honey. And place it perfect. Let me see it.
I know. Oh my goodness.
Beautiful. Oh my God. Yes, honey. I am tilting your crown because we as sisters don't do that enough. How beautiful.
Thank you so much.
We got Janae backstage clapping. We got Darvincia backstage just smiling. This is what queens and sisters should do. Oh my God. I love it. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So I had no idea you had the lashes going on. So talk about this conversation with all of you guys being divine, talking about education of wealth and credit and taxes, the mental health through self-care and fashion. And here you come with the beauty. It's all aligned.
It is. It is.
All aligned. So how long have you been doing lashes and how long have you been in business?
Great question. So I have been doing lashes since I was in high school. I am a licensed cosmetologist. I acquired my license through
going. Girl.
I know. Thank God. God is so faithful. I give him all glory, honor, and praise. So I have been doing lashes since I was in high school, and I am a product of my service. So I do my own lash extensions. And after transitioning from New York to Virginia, where I found that it was actually really hard to get a good job. It took me some time, and I prayed and I said, God, what do I do to, just build wealth? I'm coming from New York, have New York type of bills. And God, what can I do? And God said, I have already equipped you. I have given you a skill that you can use to now not just service to the woman, but it's a great avenue for you to just encourage them, uplift them, and so I'm the proud owner of Graceful Lashes and Beauty LLC. I have been owning this business for the past 5 years, and it has literally transformed my life. So I'm grateful.
I love that. And it's funny you said that because I was reading something somewhere today, and I was either reading something or I was listening to something. And the message was that use what you have in your hands. And you just said that. God basically told you that you had a skill. Use it. Mm-hmm. I absolutely love that. And so where's your business located?
It is located in Stafford, Virginia. So it's in Northern Virginia.
Okay, cool. Listen, if you're a lash girl with me, I will drive from where I am to where you are to get the lashes.
I'm ready to
serve you. Stafford, I ain't scared. I'll drive to Stafford. Okay.
I'm ready to service you. Whenever you are ready, I am here for you.
I will drive to Stafford. Isn't that right? Darvincia and Jonae. I see them. Yeah, we'll drive to Stafford, honey. We will drive to Stafford. That is not far for a good beat and a good look and a good lash.
I'm here for you.
No, ma'am. Talk to me about Miss Curvy North America. What does that mean, and how did you get into that?
So that's a great question. I got into pageantry through someone recommending so she said, hey, you should be a model. And I grew up always wanting to model. I would sit in the library. From middle school, high school, I'd sit in the library and look at Vogue magazine, Essence magazine. And I love couture fashion. Chanel is one of my favorite brands. And I believe in the power of manifestation. So I'd sit there and I'd look at the magazines. I'd look at the runway and say, wow, God, I would love that opportunity. And the significance of that was, I remember going through college. And I'm a big believer in dressing the part. You dress the way that you want to be addressed. It doesn't matter your title. It doesn't matter your role. It doesn't matter your status in life. I believe that you ought to carry yourself with dignity and class and pride because you are a daughter of the King. And so I remember going through college, and I had a friend say, Amara, when people talk about you, they don't talk about how intelligent you are. They talk about how you look, but there's so much more to you. And I'll be honest,
Yes.
it changed the trajectory of my thought, because the reality of it is I did not want to just be minimized by what I look like. And I'm grateful that I'm grateful for how I look. Don't get me wrong. But I always wanted to be known for how I love, for how I make another person feel. I want to be known for how I serve, for my intellect, for my intelligence. And so that
Yes.
said, when the young ladies shared, hey, Amara, you take great photos. Why don't you model? I said, And she said, well, why don't you try pageantry? And she knows the former the former Mrs. Globe US of A 2022. And after having a conversation, this young lady said, Amara, I think you should go for it. And then she shared my information with the executive director. The executive director said, Amara, I think that you should really go for it. And that's how I got into pageantry. And it's changed my entire life. And I'm just so grateful. So I started off as Miss Curvey last year, Miss Curvey, Virginia. And I was recently crowned Miss Curvey North America. And I'm so grateful.
Congratulations,
Thank
Queen.
you.
Yes.
God is so
Yes.
God is faithful.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you.
So, what advice would you give to an aspiring model and or entrepreneur?
That's a good question. I would say do not despise small beginnings. Oftentimes, especially with social media, you're looking at someone's highlight reel, and it's so easy for us to compare. I can look at you and say, Queen, you are everything. You are stunning inside and out. I've had the pleasure of interacting with you, and I love how you shine. I love how you show up in the world. But unfortunately,
Sis.
you're so welcome, but I've learned that, especially in the field of modeling, in the field of entrepreneurship, when you're stepping out and doing something new, and the world will judge you because we live in a world that's just easy and quick to judge. It's easy for us to compare ourselves. And I've had to learn how to respect the gift that God has given me and understand that I'm enough all by myself. As long as God is for me, then who? As long as God has told you this is the direction that you should go, then there is no mountain that God will not move in order for you to be what it is and who he has called you to be. So for any entrepreneur, for any aspiring model, for any aspiring beauty queen, I would say understand the significance of who you are. There is no one who can do what you can do. There is no one who has walked the journey that you have walked, and so own it instead of comparing, because comparison is the thief of joy. Instead of comparing your step 1 to someone's step 10, learn from their journey. Soak up as much as you can, but respect who God has called you to be. And when you tap into those gifts, when you tap into the significance of you, and you understand that many are called, but few are chosen, when you understand that you are a chosen one, there's absolutely nothing that can get in your way of success, because when God is in it, there is no limit.
Woo wee, powerful. You can't see them backstage, but oh my God, they are clapping. That was powerful. That is so key. And like you said, you hit so many different points. I mean, we could see so many other people doing so many different things and do a comparison of where I am compared to where I should be, and not really understanding the journey that it took them to get to that point. Like you said, really understanding yourself and
Yes.
really staying true to what God gave you and the craft and the talent that you have. That is so key. Oh my goodness. Tell everybody what your social media handles are, what the website to your lash business is, and how they can contact you.
Of course. So you can find me via Facebook, via Instagram at Mrs. Curvey, North America 2022. That is for both Instagram, that is for Facebook. You can find my lash page at Graceful Lashes and Beauty LLC. That is my website. And as far as contacting me, my email is info@amaralgraham.com. I'm actually having my website that talks about all the great things that I do. I'm having that's in the process, but you can email me. And of course, if you want to reach out personally, you can give me a text. You can call me at 516-765-0260. That's me.
Oh my God, you guys have blessed me. An hour isn't long enough. I definitely have to have all of you back. I want to say thank you so much to my sister Darvincia, the money chick. You got to show me how to get to the money. I will definitely be talking to you. Janae, my queen, my sister, Taiwan, thank you so much. And Amara, I just love you. You are the light. Okay? You really are. I thank you guys. You guys have blessed me today. So to all of my viewers, thank you guys for continuing to support me. You guys be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel at The Chelley Roy Show, and then follow me on Instagram at The Chelley Roy Show. You guys have an amazing night. Good evening.
Thank you
Bye,
so much.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.